So welcome back, everybody. This is your how-to video for phase 1 and self-image, meaning this is how to use this week most effectively. Right, so this is week number 3, week number 1. We went very deep into our subconscious mind, and we started looking at our 1-year, 3-year, and even further year vision of the scope of our life's work as an artist. What are we here to create? What impact are we here to make? How do we want others to feel when they're looking and touching and watching and looking at our art? And all the nuances associated with that. And then in our second week, we started breaking that down. We came back to the conscious mind, we came back to the 3D world, and we took pen to paper, and we started to back engineer how we could take this big image and turn it into bite-sized chunks that we could accomplish in this year in certain goal cycles, where we would do 3 to 4 goal cycles a year to slowly chunk down through action steps to get to our big picture vision. And so this week, what we're coming back to is now we're coming back to you. You. Week number 1, we were looking at your art, your big picture, your all of it, like their art, the you, your life, your home, your studio, all of those things. But you are absolutely essential. You yourself, your body, your hair, your skin, your likes, your dislikes. You are your most potent and powerful billboard. You are the most potent and powerful advertising system, sales system, and people want to hear you. People want to feel you. People want to know you. And so it's vitally important that we get clear on you. What are you doing? And who are you? And we know who you are now, but who are you going to be in the next year, next 3 years, next 5 years, and what's that impact? So this is what the week of self-image is about. So that we do not bypass ourselves, we leverage our own power and slingshot that to get forward, to forward our art career. Okay, so this week it is about discovering who you are, what you want, how you walk, talk, eat, breathe, meet and greet other people from the goal achieved. Not who you are today, not who you were a year ago, not who your mother and father think you are, not who your husband or wife thinks you should be. The you've always wanted to be for you, without any limitations, without any boundaries or barriers. And so that's what this week is about. Let's get to know that person. Okay, so looking at the strategy of this week, the very first thing I'm talking about is what's called the 20-20-20 system. I am going to go into this in another video, another brief video. You might have already watched it already. But basically what this is laying the groundwork. This is starting to lay the railroad tracks of neural pathways in our central nervous system, brain, vagus nerve, everything, that the prep work we do with ourselves every day is now non-negotiable. This is the same exact lifestyle as you get up in the morning, you use the restroom, you brush your teeth, you wash your face. The 20-20-20 system is something that is now moving forward, a non-negotiable part of your life. Again, I'll get into more of it on the video, but the basic premise is you set aside 60 minutes every morning, preferably in the morning, where the very first thing you focus on is you, your learning, your education, your self-image. So you get this future image of yourself locked and loaded in your body. I didn't say mind, I said your body. In your body, in your physiology. If I were to ask you right now to stop, think a year or 2 years into the future and feel what it's like to be this artist with this level of success, making this much money, with this much impact. How exactly does that feel in your body? Those corresponding emotions have a corresponding sensation. We've got to bypass all of the thinking and the doing. I'm inviting you to come into your body. So this is somatic. This is the soma. And we get to train our body to feel in this place first. So that's why we start laying the groundwork of the 2020 system this week, so that next week when you write your goals, you're already doing it. So that when you do your 8-week goal cycle, you're already in it and doing it. As I drink my kombucha. So pretty much for this week, 60 minutes every morning, preferably, for the first 20 minutes, you'll study this material specifically. You'll go through back these pieces of paper, you'll write, you'll study it, you'll read it. And then this week specifically for that, you're going to listen to the visualization from week 1. And then the second 20 minutes, you're going to either journal or write, transcribe your self-image of this person, and you'll write down as many notes and details in real time, body, mind, emotion, spirit, activating all 5 senses. What do you see, smell, taste, touch? For those of my artistic friends that when you sit to visualize, you see nothing, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. Repetition and strong emotion is your guide. What would it feel like for you to have an extra 20 grand in your bank account from the sales of your creativity and your art? Doesn't matter what you visualize at this point. What does it feel to your heart? How would your life look and feel? Okay. So again, going back over this week, the first 20 minutes of the 2020 system is you're going to listen to the visualization. The second 20 minutes, you're going to write. And then the third 20 minutes, I want you to start doing some kind of body somatic self-regulation practice. So this is not yoga. This is not going to the gym. This is not running. This is not Pilates. Those are other aspects of our life, right? Our physical exercise. This is what are you doing on a daily, consistent basis to train your mind to focus on one thing and one thing alone. So I have a list of those things that could be a kind of breath work practice. I have one that I do that's a neurofeedback breath work practice where you feel your future emotion while you're following a pacer on your app. And it's a really incredible, profoundly accurate way to record this information into your central nervous system and your subconscious. Maybe it's 20 minutes of doing some kind of therapeutic practice, a different kind of breath work. Maybe it's an art therapeutic drawing practice so that it starts keying you in and focusing you in the moment. It could be a self-EMDR or EFT practice, a self-hypnosis practice, something that's going to keep sharpening the blade of your willpower. Sharpening the blade and the focus and the beam of your willpower. Because think about this, right? We are all little kids, most of us, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. We got the lesson of here's a magnifying glass. And if you let the sun go through it in the right way onto a bed of dry leaves, what happens? Doing it a certain way at a certain angle when the sun's out at a certain light, it will catch that dry material on fire. All that light, all of that attention, all that focus becomes a literal laser beam to burn through. Same with a human mind. We are squirrels, we are monkeys. Most of us have minds that just, they gallop all over the place. For whatever reason, it doesn't even matter at this point, but all we get to do is focus. We've got to train the squishy part between our ears to focus on one thing so that when we get to our 8-week goal cycle, We'll have these 4 goals we're focusing on. And if anything starts popping like popcorn outside of us, your father gets sick, somebody stubs their toe and breaks their toe, or I don't even want to give a specific list because I don't want to activate any of that. But it's really easy. Life starts lifing and we get pulled away in a different direction. And then our goals wither and die. And then a year, 2, 3, 4 years go by and nothing has changed. Your goals come first. You come first. You're number one. And then we learn how to work with life as it moves around us. All right, so that's the first part of this week's how to do this week. The second part is now we're going to be using vision boards. We're all visual people, right? We're visual artists, painting, drawing, sculpting. Some of you might be illustrators. I know some of my clients write, so that is a visual in a way too. So now we need to be planting visual seeds, starting to cultivate a garden of images that we look at every day to once again remind us, oh yeah, this is what I'm focusing on. I'm not focusing on the news. I'm not focusing on the newspaper. I'm not focusing on the magazine. I'm focusing on me. What's next for me, right? And the umbrella of you then also includes your partners, your children, your loved ones, your animals, things like that. But you. So there's 2 different vision boards I'm going to have you play with this week, starting to create. Some of you might be one of those speed demons and be able to create this vision board really accurately within a week and have all the images up perfectly aligned in all the places and be like, oh my God, I love this thing. And it rings the bell and it's right on and it's, spot on to who this person you're working towards the next 3 to 5 years. If you're anything like me, what I tend to do is I take a week or so to gather all these images based on my self-image script, based on all this introspection that I'm doing. And then I go out and look for images. And sometimes I find images that are like halfway so-so. I know they're not perfect. And some of them, hit the nail on the head. So I'll put those on the vision board. But then as I go through my 8-week goal cycle, I'll then run into something that's like, that's the picture. I'll rip one down and stick the other one up. So that's why technically when we make these particular vision boards, use a cork board if you can, big ones, like a 3 feet by 2 foot one or a 2 by 4, make them big so the images can be really large. So they're really juicy and beautiful and inviting to look at. And then use thumbtacks to put them up there so that we're not gluing or taping permanently things to the board, because we're going to change and you're going to have another goal cycle after this one and another one after that one. So your vision board is a constantly moving, modulating group of images. And so as you go through this, you'll see that there's 9 core areas that you're going to focus on. And I get this from a really lovely woman that I've trained in vision boards with. She runs a company called the Aloha Dream Board Company, and she places her images like the feng shui on a Bagua map. So basically you're doing a feng shui map of images for you to activate 9 different areas in your life. And if you look through the document, I have them laid out in a tile and a grid for you to look at. And the very middle is health and wellness. What is it that you need to feel healthy and wholly within yourself, you specifically? And then we go clockwise through the middle. So then you go to the right, which is creativity. These are all the things that, what do you do to fill back up? What helps you fill up your own cup? So for those of us that are creative, right, we're like creativity, draw, paint, sculpt, but this is a little different. We're looking at what are the things that you do to fill back up that are actually quite separate from your art. You've got to have those things, because there are some times when your art won't be working, things aren't going to be going well. Maybe that painting that you shipped to somebody showed up with a big giant hole in the middle of it, and it was, you know, more money than any client had ever spent. So, and then our self-confidence and our self-worth gets wrapped up in that, right? What else do you do to go fill back up? I myself, I love going to saunas and spas. I've got a garden. I've got my gardening, which I love, away from my art and creativity. And, you know, there's other things, camping and things like that. For you, it's going to be something very different. For several of my friends, it's going out and getting pedicures and manicures, or taking care of somebody's children, filling back up. Okay, so then the bottom going to on the right side and down, you've got the area of your helpful people and travel. Who is it that comes into your life that you need that help you out? And then in the bottom, in the middle of the bagua, which is your career. And so this is your literal art career. Now, this career area, we are actually going to then replicate on the second vision board. And then that's going to expand out on its own. So you're going to have one for you and your life, and then one you and your career. Bottom left side is skills and knowledge. You'll look at these skills and knowledge for you to advance your life and your interests and desires. On your business board, it's going to be what skills and knowledge do you need to learn to advance your art business. The next one up is friends and family. We could look at that on our creative art business board as our art community. What people do we want to be surrounded by? Who are they? How much money do they make? If the top 5 people we spend all of our time with are the ones that influence us the most and either push us to the next place we want to be or pull us back down, who's going to be on those blocks on the board? And then the top left corner is prosperity. What are you going to be spending your money on for yourself in your life, for your art business? And then there's the self-image, which is the very top center. This is how you desire others to perceive you. How do you want to enter into the world? And I'm going to take some photos of this. I picked up the Architectural Digest magazine. I was at the airport the other day, so I'm going to come off blur. Come off blur so you see this. And I love, I have to show this image because this girl, yeah, self-image. This is her creative self-image. When you look at this human, what sense do you get? Right? Architectural Digest magazine, they want that quality of artist. They're looking for, this might not be your cup of tea, right? But they're looking for this is their self-image as an artist. Their self-image as an artist, which, by the way, there's 9 different artist profiles in Architectural Digest magazine. I've met artists that have had their work in this magazine, and let me tell you how much their life changed after that. Quite a bit. So Architectural Digest, I literally have one of these magazines stuck on my vision board with this picture of me on there with my art, with AD at the top, all those things, because one day I too am going to be in this magazine. So anyway, okay. So those are our vision boards. You see what's happening. If you could see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. We want to completely saturate every part of your life with your new vision so that you don't get sidetracked or distracted. Okay, so there's the vision boards. Now, the third part of this week, the how to do this week, is once again our script, your self-image script. Like I said at the first part, in the 20-20-20, you study for 20 minutes, you do some writing for 20 minutes, you do self-regulation work for 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes, we are going back to the visualization. The second 20 minutes, you're writing stuff down. So once again, you're going to listen to the visualization again. You're going to continue to capture specific details about who you see yourself to be. You'll follow that writing process from the first week. And then there's also some additional questions I have here. You'll see in the document, there's about a dozen or so additional questions. And so answer these questions as you go. You might finish all of them in one day. It might take 2 or 3 days to answer all of them. It's really no rush, but let these things really start bringing new information to the surface of your mind. All right. And then after you've you've gone over your script again, you want to rewrite it in that concise way again at the end, like we did on week 1. Rewrite it, re-record it in your phone so that you are going to listen to this thing. And it's really powerful, very, very powerful to listen to this self-image script every day. Top of mind. Putting blinders on, putting your fingers in your ear and saying to yourself, I create my own circumstances. This is the artistic life I want and I'm going to have. Let's go. All right. And so then by the end of the week, or as you're going through your week, this 4th step is we're now going to review, revise, refine our goal language. Last week, we worked together and we were writing down, details. How many acts of this thing are we going to do? How much specific dollar amount am I going to have with financial increase? With my self-image goal, I'm going to post on social media 30 times as this new person, using this new language, using these new photos, that kind of thing. And now that you know more about your self-image, you'll be like, oh, I'm going to be using elegant, refined language or creative, playful clown language, something like that. Okay. So this is the end of the how-to video for week 3. There's also in here at the end of our list over here, our document, is a reading list for additional books to learn how to develop your self-image. There's one really great one. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. He was a plastic surgeon. And basic premise of him, he noticed that when certain people got plastic surgery of some sort, whether it was from an injury or otherwise, that their entire image of themselves and their life completely changed, while some didn't. And so he goes through a lot of key points on how to do that for yourself. The other is The Art of Acting by Stella Adler. The foreword is written by Marlon Brando. And basically she is teaching her students how to act as if they were this person. So there's some really great tips and tricks in there. All right. I look forward to seeing you at the end of this week and working on this together. See you in the next video.